glowing behind the entire moon. I thought it would look, dark against the black sky or deep space, but the sun is lighting up the entire limb of the moon. You can see the entire perimeter of it, and even now with the sun far behind the moon, you can still make out little bits of topography around the entire limb, just bumps as you go.
From the town squares to the digital streets, we got one sacred right that nobody defeats. It's the fire in our veins, the roar in our soul, freedom of speech, making America whole. Listen up, brothers and sisters, gather around the flame. First Amendment's calling, shouting out our name. Congress should make no law, that's the promise we hold. No chains on our words, no stories left untold. Religion free to worship, no state telling you how. Assemble in the streets, petition right here and now. Press running wild and fearless, speaking truth to the throne. And every single voice gets to stand on its own. Freedom of speech, let it ring out loud and clear. The First Amendment standing tall, year after year. We won't be silenced, we won't be muzzled or tamed. This Constitution's our shield, forever untamed. From the mountains to the prairies, from sea to shining sea, we defend this sacred right. It's what sets us free. God bless the USA, where the truth can still be told. Freedom of speech, forever. Bold, brave, and bold. Five pillars standing strong, holding up the sky. Religion, speech, press, assembly, petition. That's why no government boot on our neck, no overreach in sight. The founders wrote it ironclad to keep the power right. They knew tyrants would come, try to twist and control, but these words try to cancel, they try to shadow ban. Label hate speech what they don't understand. Big tech, big government, colluding in the dark. But we got the First Amendment, lighting up the spark. No law can gag the preacher, no rule can hush the crowd, no censor can drown the patriot shouting proud. This ain't just paper, it's blood, sweat and fight, the heartbeat of liberty burning through the night. So raise your voice high when the storm winds blow. Defend the right to speak, let the whole world know. From Cape Coral shores to the Rockies peak, we guard this freedom, it's ours to keep. The Constitution stands like a rock in the stream, protecting us all from the tyrant's bad dream. No king, no committee, no elite decree can never take away what makes us truly free. Freedom of speech, let it ring out loud and clear. The First Amendment's standing tall, year after year. We won't be silenced, we won't be muzzled or tamed. This Constitution's our shield, forever untamed. From the mountains to the prairies, from sea to shining sea, we defend this sacred right. It's what sets us free. God bless the USA, where the truth can still be told. Freedom of speech forever. Bold, brave, and bold. Freedom of speech forever. Bold. Yeah. Yeah. That's the sound of liberty ringing. First Amendment strong. America forever. God bless the USA.
It is time, everybody, for the Sights and Sounds of Earth. My name is Ian. This is Starship Adventures, broadcasting live from North Fort Myers, Florida. Worldwide on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform. And it's good to see everybody tonight coming in. Let me see if I can get this thing to refresh here. All right. Oh, yeah, lots of folks coming in tonight. Hey, Gator. Hey, Yellow. Dispatch. Jungle. Lots of folks in the Nightcana Club. Thank you, everybody, for coming in so far. I do appreciate it. Did I miss anybody? Bill, I think, is in there. And let's see. I think that's what I got. But anyway, yeah, thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. And this is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. And tonight, well, they're going around the moon, and we're watching it live. I've got several different views up here. The upper left is is basically the view they're seeing. I'm not sure the exact story there. The large view is directly from NASA, and then on the one right above me right here, you can see this one here. That's the one that's over on Starship After Dark. It has the tracker and all the information on it. And also upper center is live views from around the Middle East, where we don't know what's going to happen here in the next 36 hours, so we're keeping a close eye on that. And then in the upper right, that's another channel from Starship After Dark, and that is the Middle East tracker, and that's got the red alerts out of Israel and all that kind of good stuff in there. You want to go out? Oh, hold on. She wanted to go outside for a little while, so that's good. All right, there you go. A shot of Mission Control. All right, so we're going to listen into some of this through the evening here.
I know this observation won't be of any scientific value, but I'm really glad we launched on Houston first, because humans probably have not evolved to see what we're seeing. It is truly hard to describe. It is amazing.
Amazing. Thank you, Victor.
And just one more logistics note, we have gone as dark as we can in the cabin. We have turned the DUs all the way as dim as they can go, so you can't see anything on the screens. Every bit of light in the cabin affects the view. You're definitely seeing the brightness go closer. It's definitely brighter on the Earth-shine side, and so we're expecting to see some corona here soon.
We copy all. Excited for what you see next.
I'm not sure if we talked much about the star field, but we've got lots of stars. You've got the nice glow around the moon, but right off the well, we're upside down now, but from upside down 4 o'clock, right off the edge of the moon, looks like a planet. That line of planets, there's something a moon diameter to the left, and something right off the limb of the moon to the right, and then something orange. It looks orange to the right of that, about half the moon diameter. So. But anyway, there are definitely stars. I think some of those planets that you said we might see, we're seeing. And so in unreal view, the moon in the foreground is one of the darkest things we see out the window. And now it's deep space behind it is kind of dark blue like it looks from Earth, but we can also still see stars.
Basically, it's very dark, the view they have right now. And no, there's been really no anomalies. They went out of communication range for a little while. That was reestablished right on time. They did have to traverse the backside of the moon. And as we all know, especially those of you who are amateur radio folks, radio waves will not go around or through the moon. So when you're on the dark side of the moon, unless you're using some kind of mega power or some crazy shit, I don't know what, you're pretty much, you're done. You're on the dark side of the moon. So that's always been the concern. But the neat thing about the moon is I want you guys to remember the moon doesn't spin. It always, the same side of the moon always faces Earth, no matter where it is. That makes it the perfect weapons platform. But let's not talk about that. It also makes it a perfect place for a moon base, because although different places on Earth would face the moon base at different times, if we put a moon base on this side of the moon base would always face Earth. Every single day, 365 days a year on the moon, when you looked up, you would see the Earth. That's what's really cool. So when we do decide to put Moon Base Alpha up there, and we do decide to put humans up there, we're going to put them, I'm sure, on our side of the moon, hopefully close to the center. And then the reason is because it just makes everything easier, because they're always in communication. All you'll need is probably an orbital satellite that can just literally stay in contact with the satellite dish that's on the moon base, and then that satellite would beam the information down to Earth via whatever method you want to use. But that's all you would need is one spacecraft or 2 or 3 satellites as relays, and you would have constant communication with your moon base. Yes, it doesn't spin in relation to the Earth. I want to be perfectly clear. It doesn't spin in relation to the Earth. You always, since you were born, have looked at the exact same side of the moon. You've never seen the other side of the moon. None of us have. These 4 people were just added to a very small list of people who've actually seen the other side of the moon. Eventually he'll have Starlink on the moon, I'm sure. Yes, it's tidally locked, exactly. Yep, so, what's funny is I believe it's the only moon in our solar system that is so tidally locked, but, there you go. It works, I guess. The neat part, though, is this, this mission is getting us ready for ultimately for the, for the big one. We're going to send men, women, people down there. I can't wait to see how that goes. But here's the neat thing. One of the things I keep hearing a lot is, why aren't they going down to the moon this time? What's wrong with these people? Are they stupid? Why can't they go to the moon right now? Just land on the moon. Well, because right now it'd be a one-way trip because they don't have a way to get back off the moon up there with them. They would have to bring that. That's part of what they were doing. They're testing the lifting system and everything. I want you to think back to something. Apollo. We went to the moon. Now, we had many missions before Apollo learning how to do all the different things we had to do. And then finally we start this endeavor of putting a man on the moon and returning him safely to terra firma. And that's what we set out to do. And it started with Apollo 1. Grissom, White, and Chaffee killed on the launch pad in Apollo 1 in a plugs out test. Very sad. By the way, I watched it this morning. I got up early and I watched a movie on Apollo 11. Now we all know Tom Hanks' Apollo 13, one of the best movies ever. I've watched that movie a bunch of times. But this one was made about 4 or 5 years ago, and this one's about. It's actually, I believe it's about Neil Armstrong. Yeah. And it's about the first man stepping on the moon. And it's a little bit about his family and everything. But for the most part, it's a really good movie. And I watched it this morning. I wish I had the name of it now. I would tell you what it was. But it was really good. I love movies that are like documentaries, but they're good enough to be movies type of thing. I like that. And it was really good. It went right up to splashdown after the moon mission. Pretty much. And it was really good. But anyway, back to what I was saying. One burned up on the pad. We kept going. Now, a lot of people would have stopped right there. We burned up 3 of our best people right there on the pad. And so, well, what we ended up doing was they went back. And they started going up, and they started practicing all the different things. And finally, we get into 2 and 3 and 4, Apollo 5. We're starting to go. We get to where we can fly around the moon. We're working on that free trajectory return dealy-do. Everything's going great. We get up to 8 to 9. We get the limb up there. We pull it out. We practice that. And then finally, Apollo 11 is the first Apollo mission to actually step foot on the injector blanket on the moon. And so what changed everything? Well, it took us 11 missions to learn how to go to the moon without killing somebody. That's literally the bottom line. We're doing it here in 4 missions, okay? Artemis 4 is going to go, and we are sending a crew down, and they're going to step face on the moon again. And I always said, I was born right about the time the first man was stepping on the moon. And I'm a moon child, and I've always loved the moon. I've always loved the missions to the moon. And I've always said that one of the things I really hope to see again is before I die, I want to see us back on the moon again. And it looks like we're going to get that one. You know what? I'm starting to see some of, there's that, they asked this kid, they interviewed this kid, they said, what do you think about what's going on with the mission right now? And he goes, are you kidding me? We're going to effing moon. And he was all excited. And I'm like, yeah, that's the way I feel too, man. You know, I feel young, like I'm young again. Like when I was a kid, and like I remember the feeling I got when I watched the first space shuttle go up. And I remember the feeling I got when I watched the first space shuttle come down in flames. I was in school for both of those events. It's one of those things, man. You know, I was just hoping we could get back there. We are going to get back there. We gotta pay for these missions, and that's the bottom line. You know, when it comes to space, all this time we've been doing space wrong. We were doing space publicly, okay? All tax money, all public, all the time, dead drain. Nothing works. Everything takes forever. Your typical government stuff. What we're finding out is what's working for space is the same kind of thing that's working for things like electricity and energy. It's the same kind of things that work for a lot of different things where we have a public-private partnership. And I believe in public-private partnerships when they work and when they're managed properly. This one seems to be going pretty good. You know, and here's how we're doing this. Elon Musk said, look, I want to go to space as bad as you do, but I don't have taxpayer money to do it with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up this mesh of satellites. I'll make plenty of money on those to continue heading to Mars. I mean, that's literally, the guy's like, we've got to figure out a way to make money in space, to monetize what we're doing. Okay? That's the difference between someone who feels the government should just take care of it and someone who says, look, if we want to go to the moon, you know, it's just like, you know what it reminds me of? The band trip. We wanted to go to the Indianapolis parade so bad. Now, we're in South Florida, okay? That's Indianapolis, Indiana. That's way up there. We were going to, we wanted to march in that parade, the Indianapolis 500 parade, march across the checkered carpet. And we started raising money, and it took us 6 months to raise money. We went out and played concerts to raise money. We went out and sold candy bars. I sold pizza kits. I sold everything you could freaking imagine. We think we sold magazine subscriptions at one point. We would sold our band instruments if we could have got away with it. We were selling everything we could to get those buses so that we could go up there. We even had a stop at Six Flags in Georgia where we marched through the whole place. It was really cool. It was a great trip, but the point of my story is we wanted to go somewhere. The band director said, if you guys raise the money, we'll go. That's all he said. And we told our parents what we wanted to do. We all got together, parents, the teachers, the students, the directors, everybody got together. And next thing you know, we've raised thousands and tens of thousands of dollars. And we sent our entire band, 3 big, huge Ohio Valley tour buses, all the way up from South Florida, all the way up to Indiana, and then back, plus a couple stops. It was a lot of fun, and we had to raise the money to go. And this is the same way. This is the same thing. You can't just keep going on the government tit. You can't expect the government to continuously be spending over and over, spending more and more and more money. What we have to do is we have to figure out a way to fund this thing. And so what Elon Musk has done is said, look, I want to monetize space. It's so smart. If you don't see that, then you're not an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur, see, a socialist or someone who's just not really anything, they're going to look at something and say, man, I wish somebody would help me with this, or I wish I could do this, or I wish I was smart enough to figure this out, this and that and the other thing. But there's people out there like Elon Musk that says, I want to go there, and I can't afford to go there. So rather than finding some crazy way to get there, okay, whatever, I'm going to find a way to make money on the way. I'm going to find a way to make the trip pay for itself, like I'm doing with the van that I want to build. The trip will pay for itself. I'm going to build the van, take the trip across the country. The viewership numbers and the supers and the memberships and everything will pay for the insurance and the gas and everything, and it will keep me on the road. So in other words, I've monetized the journey. And that's what Elon Musk is doing. He's monetizing the journey between point A and point Z, and that's where he's at right now. And he said, okay, so if we're going to go to space, we got to find a reason to go to space. It started with the Starlink system. It started with all this comm satellites and different, putting stuff up for the government. He's been doing a lot of that. And there's just, what he's doing is every time they pay for a payload to go to space, every time, oh, there we go. The light just came around the backside of the moon. I think that's what they call the diamond ring right there. Let me turn this up.
In the center of it, there's a towering light of. There's a towering light, and then there were like two streamers that were going 30 degrees out from it, and now it is just extremely bright.
Houston, copies all.
Get a little warm.
And we copied all. We wanted to remind you at this point on the eclipse glasses. Should be about time for those.
This is Artemis Mission Control. The eclipse period is coming to an end, and we did hear that call up that the crew now has to put on those eclipse glasses to be able to protect their eyes for this final portion of the eclipse. And these views coming to you
Hey,
from
Incognito,
the
what's up?
on the Orion spacecraft.
Houston, if you could give me about 20 new superlatives in the mission summary for tomorrow, that'll help my vocabulary out a bit. Thank you.
We will solicit input from the team.
All right, we are monitoring live communications between Artemis 2 spacecraft and NASA Mission Control. They have gone around the backside of the moon, and they are coming around now. They have cleared comms blackout about an hour ago, and we have good comms with them now. They did go around the backside of the moon, and we did lose contact with them for several hours. This was anticipated. I think for later Artemis missions, they'll probably put a spacecraft somewhere in lunar orbit that will be able to fill that gap. Maybe not even in orbit. It may just be a spacecraft. But they'll put a repeater out there that will fill that gap. Hey, Dom, what's up? Yeah, we're doing good on the
This is
predictions. I
Artemis
think
Mission
this
Control.
is going to
There
be a
on
lot
your
of fun.
screen, you can see a live look inside of the SIR, or the Science Evaluation Room, here in Mission Control Houston, just down the hallway from the Artemis Flight Control Room.
Integrity Houston, back with you after a data rate change. Regarding the SAW-3 camera T low caution, no action for you. It just got a little cool during the eclipse.
You know, one thing people don't realize in space.
Okay, we copy, and if you didn't copy my request for the mission summary to add about 20 new superlatives to help my vocabulary, I would appreciate it.
We copied it fantastically.
All right, in orbit up there, or between here and the moon, when they're in the sunlight, it's hundreds of degrees, and when they're out of the sunlight, it's minus 100
In
degrees.
integrity science, this is basically wrapping up your fly-by-day observations. I can't say enough how much science we've already learned and how much inspiration you've provided to our entire team, the lunar science community, and the entire world with what you were able to bring today. You really brought the moon closer for us today, and we cannot say thank you enough. And science signing off, and can't wait to talk to you tomorrow morning.
I got to tell you guys, you can tell
To the
that.
entire team, Kelsey, to the entire NASA science team, you all really turned to when we shifted launch dates to April 1st, and you got the most incredible package together for us to go do some great science and some great, truly human experience moments here. And we were well prepared, and we appreciate all of you. And this is what we do best when we all come together and work as a team. So y'all knocked it out of the park. Thank you for giving us this opportunity.
Beautiful words, Reed. Thanks so much.
All right, one of the interesting things that I've noticed is NASA. You know, used to be just mostly men. Going to space was like a man thing. As has happened with everything, they've got full DEI hiring there at NASA, and they have had that now since the Barack Obama administration. And if you notice now, everybody that's in charge is a woman. The entire place is run by women. All the mission controllers, the flight controllers, the Capcoms, they're all women. You know, it must be not. I mean, sometimes I sit here and think, you know, wouldn't it be cool if I was a woman, because I could just have any job I wanted. Yeah, the flat earthers. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. And here's the thing. I don't care. I think women do just as good a job as men. In fact, I had one of the first female firefighters on my shift at my station in the whole county. It's nothing new to me. I don't mind it as long as they can do their job. I had female firefighters that could not drag the dummy, and we didn't let them on. We put them on our support team, and they came and filled air bottles and rolled hose and served coffee. It's nothing. It's nothing disrespectful. If your job is dragging 200-pound dead bodies out of homes, you probably should be someone that can drag 200-pound dead bodies out of homes. That's all I'm saying. You know, with like stuff like mission controllers, they can do just as good a job as men. But here's the problem. Are they just as good? Because here's the thing. You know, one of the things that Charlie Kirk took the most amount of heat over before his death was a statement he made that when I'm sitting on a plane and I see a black captain and a black first officer get on and head towards the front, I hope they're qualified. And that's not a racist statement. It's because of DEI hiring. It's because of affirmative action hiring. And I understand it because I dealt with it at the fire service, where there's a black male list, a white male list, a Hispanic male list, and a female list. And they hire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in other words, Everybody that's black got hired. Everybody that's Hispanic got hired. Everybody that's a woman got hired. And the first 13 of the 200 white guys got hired. It really sucks when you're a white guy. It's very difficult to get a job in public safety, or in large corporations, in NASA. It's very difficult for a white male to get a job and to move up into a job anymore. We've actually become, I hate to say this because it's not my way of thinking about it, but the white straight males have actually become the victim class. I hate to say it, but it's true. We have the hardest time finding jobs. We have the hardest time getting anything done. Do you think I could get a small business loan? If I was Somali, I could. I don't mean to be an asshole, but it's true. I applied for all kinds of small business loans. I've applied for all kinds of... Nobody will give me shit. You're white. You're straight. What's wrong with you? Why are you wasting our time? So I'm just... It bugs me when I see stuff like that. And because the first thing they do is accuse you of being racist. It has nothing to do with being racist. Those two pilots may be the best two pilots in the airline. And it has nothing to do with their color other than the people made it about their color. Because I know that they hire any black pilot that's qualified that walks in the door, gets hired, period. But they only hire 10% of the white pilots that apply. And so you're passing away pilots here, you're passing over pilots over here that I'm sure are better than some of the black pilots over here. You see, that's what Charlie Kirk was saying. And it's absolutely true. If you're a black man and you're a smart guy and you go get a great job, do you want people looking at you and saying, I wonder if he was a DEI hire? Hell no, you don't want that. You want to earn your job and you want to be respected for the job that you're doing. But that's not going to happen with affirmative action DEI hiring. Because when you get hired, forevermore, everybody's going to look at you and say, I wonder if he's actually qualified. Because they'll hire anybody with these boxes. As long as you can check boxes, they will hire you. And it really sucks because you don't have the most qualified people. It's nothing racist. It's simple math. You don't have the most qualified people. It's like out in California. The fire department is all lesbians. I mean, and they asked the deputy chief, who was a lesbian, they asked her, they said, don't you think it's important that the people that pull up at the burning house are big enough to go in and drag all the people out, no matter how big they are? And she actually said, well, maybe you shouldn't get yourself in a situation where you need to be dragged out by the fire department. She says, we feel that it's more important that our engine crew looks like the diverse neighborhood that we're responding to. And I swore at the time that is the stupidest thing I had ever heard. Now, I think I've beat it since then. But that has to be probably the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, Deploribus. I believe I watched that one. I actually like Mentor Pilot. I watch him all the time. I'm subscribed to his channel. Yep, he's one of the 3 or 4 that I watch when it comes to the airline stuff. He's really good. I like him. Very, very well thought out person. Very good pilot. I like the way he analyzes things. He doesn't have obviously the fanciest presentation, but I like the way he does it, so I watch him. He's getting better with the AI, showing all the planes landing. He's doing pretty good with that. It gets better all the time. Yeah, the whole checking boxes thing I don't like. The one that got me the most was Karine Jean-Pierre. You remember her? We called her Cringe. She was the brain dead Joe Biden spokesperson. And she came out on her first day and she says, hi, everyone. My name's Karine Jean-Pierre, and I'm a black woman that's gay, and I'm a lesbian, and I like this and that, and I do this and that, and she just goes on and on. I'm from here, I like this, and I'm like, nobody gives a shit, lady. I don't care what you lick on your spare time. I don't care who you scissor. I don't care any of that. All I care about is that you present the information properly, which, by the way, she never could. She is by far the worst press secretary ever. And just absolutely, that's why we just called her cringe, because it kind of sums the whole thing up, cringe. Yeah, Mentor Pilot is really good. If you guys haven't seen it, he does crash analysis. And he does it using AI graphics and stuff. And he does a really good job with it. There you go, Dom. Hey, there's some amazing pilots that are black. Some of our best pilot instructors are black. It has nothing to do with that. That's what I'm saying. The moment you start talking about this, people start thinking, is he racist? Is he talking about? No, it has not. It's numbers. It's just numbers. There's great black pilots. I worked with great black firefighters. I worked with this one female firefighter. She could drag me all over the building. She was great. Didn't care who she scissored or licked. I didn't care. She was a good firefighter. I worked with these two Hispanic guys at my station for a while. Yeah, there was a whole joke and a running thing with them, and we loved those guys, and they loved us, and they fought fire with us for years. We called them Jose and Jose B. And anyway, they were the best guys ever. And let me tell you something. We didn't have this problem with all that back then, because we didn't do all that hiring like that over here. All these guys got on our department, not because they were black, not because they were Hispanic. They qualified. They passed the tests. They did good. And we hired them. That's all I'm talking about. Okay? That's the difference. And if 13 black people apply, and 13 Hispanic people apply, and 13 women apply, and 296 white people apply, and we only take the top 13 out of all four lists, you're turning away white folks that are much, 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 much more qualified than some of these other people that you took everybody of. Do you see what I'm saying? It's basic numbers. It has nothing to do with their color. It has to do with the fact that the way we're hiring people is racist, and it has nothing to do with putting the most qualified person driving that fire truck or the most qualified person flying that plane. It has nothing to do with those two things. And that should be the most important thing. Nothing should be more important than having the most qualified person. Let it be black, white, Hispanic, gray, alien. As long as they're qualified and they've passed the test and they're good, I'm fine with that. That's true, Incognito Labs. If I had money, I would have learned to fly. I guarantee I would have learned to fly. But that's a rich people sport. I knew a guy that almost put himself in the poorhouse trying to get his pilot's license. And I knew another guy that almost put himself in a poorhouse. He went up and they taught him how to parachute, and he fell in love with parachuting, and he about put himself in the poorhouse because it's expensive. He'd go up twice a day, 3 times a day. $150 a pop or something. I'm like, dude, you're just killing yourself. No, aviation, just like nautical. There's a lot of people that really, really, really get into it, and that's cool. Yeah, and then New Year's, when we do the predictions, New Year's, we'll also open it back up for predictions for the next New Year's. And that's how we're going to do it. Man, what is with these bugs? Where do these bugs come from? I don't have bugs in here. What the hell? Jesus. All right, they're quiet now. The crew... They kind of said goodnight to the crew, so I don't know if the crew is heading for bed or what. there's still a host on here that will come on periodically and tell us what's going on. All right, so let's go through what we're going to go through tonight. There's a story I did want to go through. We covered this tonight over on the terrestrial radio as well, over on 92.5 Fox News, The Drive with Trey Radel. We covered this for a while earlier tonight, and you can see that on our podcast. If you guys ever want to listen to my shows over there, you can always just go to Spotify or tune in. Just go to Google and type Spotify 92.5 Fox News or Google, tune in 92.5 Fox News. It'll come right up. You can listen live on TuneIn. You can go back and listen to podcasts on Spotify. And it's we discussed this earlier on the show. Blue states are changing the tax rules on the wealthy, and it's going to cost all of us in the long run. Blue states have every right to set their own tax policy, but they don't get to suspend the law of economics while they do it. And this is the lesson I think they're going to end up learning here. Every politician eventually runs out of other people's money to spend. Blue state governors and legislators in blue states are just running out faster than everybody else. Right now, there is a coordinated wave of new tax proposals sweeping California, New York, Washington State, Massachusetts, Michigan, Connecticut. 6 states, very blue states, all blue states. The common thread, they all believe the solution to self-inflicted budget crisis, because remember, they're all in debt because they put themselves there. We're not in debt in Florida. Texas isn't in debt. Most other states have very little debt. Everybody, they're in debt because they put themselves in debt with left-wing policies. Okay? So they put themselves in this debt, and now they feel that the best way to help themselves out of this self-inflicted mess, this budget crisis that they put themselves in, is to reach deeper into the pockets of the most productive residents. And if those residents decide to leave, they want to charge them an extra exit tax on the way out. You talk about disgusting. This is gross. This is disgusting. Not only are they saying, okay, hey, you're rich. We don't like you because you're rich. So we're going to charge you a 5% tax. Now, not 5% on what you spend. Not 5% on what you pay. Not 5% on your power bill. 5% of everything you own. You got a painting worth $1 million? 5% of that, cash. It's ridiculous. Now, I'm not rich and I'm never going to be rich, but let me tell you something. Those people got there. They got there. They got the money. Okay? I'm an entrepreneur. I believe that rich people should be allowed to be rich in peace. Okay? They got there. However they got there. And we have to work hard to get there. We should be aspiring to be like them, not hating them. So they're wanting all these states, California, New York, Washington State, Massachusetts, Michigan, Connecticut. They're all in the process right now of putting a 3 to 8% across the board tax, meaning tax on everything, property, cars, paintings, home goods, everything you own, everything you have, your vacation properties, your yacht that's out in the water, everything you own, you owe cash for 5% of everything you own. Now, that's not the dirtiest part. The gross part is these bastards, these liberal, horrible liberal bastards in these states want to make it retroactive. So if you move from like a month ago up, from the day that it was announced, if you pack up and move, they're still going to charge you that 5% or that 8%. Now, I don't think you should be allowed to make laws retroactively, and I think they will eventually win this in the Supreme Court. However, what a joke. What a joke. Gavin Douche Newsom out there saying, hey, here's what we got to do. We're gonna charge all the rich people 5%. Guess what? They all started moving. Yeah, the guy that owns Uber, the guy that owns Google, all the different people, the whole companies are leaving, whole corporations are leaving. They're going to Nevada, mostly to Texas and Florida. You know, we're getting California corporations here and Georgia. We're getting movie companies and shit moving here. We're in Georgia too. Georgia even more than here. We're getting, why? Because Florida and Georgia, low tax right to work states. Matt. All right, yeah, so we got a lot of predictions. That's going to be a fun show come the end of the year. Yes, Dom, in every case, you and I agree 100%. I don't think they should ever be able to make a law retroactive. You cannot be held responsible for something that didn't exist yet. You know? That's like arresting you for a shooting you might do later. I mean, it's kind of, think about it. It's the same thing, really. I mean, that's really crazy when you think about it. Yeah, I think there is too, and I don't know how they think this is going to work. It will be challenged in state. It'll probably start in some state court. It'll end up in the Supreme Court. I think it's going to go all the way up and get challenged. It has to be. It has to be. Nothing like this can stand. This cannot stand. It must be challenged. Oh, let's hear what they're saying.
At your convenience, we'll take a 10 count with Jeremy in frame.
Okay, copy that. Give us 2 minutes and we'll...
Okay, they're doing comm checks, so we'll keep that turned down a little bit. All right, guys, I do want to welcome everybody that just arrived. This is Starship Adventures, and we are broadcasting live from my studios here at my home in North Fort Myers, Florida. That's in Southwest Florida. That's the lower left corner of the country's genitals. And yes, here broadcasting live worldwide on YouTube, the world's largest broadcast platform, and we're glass all the way to the internet, baby, all the way there. All right, and here we go. Tonight we are covering here on the Sights and Sounds of Earth, we are covering the Artemis 2 mission as they slingshot around the back of the moon for a free return trajectory to Earth coming up in a few days. All right, thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting the channel as you do. And please hit that subscribe and that notification bell on this channel. However, I do want to tell you guys, over on our other channel, Starship After Dark, okay, that's where we've got all kinds of coverage going on. We have live coverage, critical alerts and tracking coming out of Israel, including the TOSFAR red alert system, Doppler radar, plane trackers, live views, all kinds of stuff. We actually have 2 different feeds going out with different configurations, one of them playing patriotic music, the other one playing natural sound out of Israel from Tel Aviv. And then we also, over on that channel, we have the live mission tracker that you can see right above me here. That's the live mission tracker, NASA audio, live views and flight information, and you can see all that also. And guess what channel is kicking ass today over there? Almost 3,000 views in 24 hours. That's great for a static channel on a backup frequency or a backup YouTube channel. So not really a bad deal. So if you guys haven't checked this stuff out, please go over and check it out over at Starship After Dark here on YouTube, and give us that subscribe. Now, I suggest not hitting the bell over there, but definitely hit it here. Everything I do here is hosted. Everything we do there is not hosted. So and it'll just come on all hours of the day and night when I'm resetting stuff. Don't do that to yourself. Notification bell here, not over there. But yeah, these 4 machines, 1, 2, 3, 4 Linux machines right here. If you go to there now, you'll see these same screens up on the streaming, and you can see what's going on all over the place. So please hit the notification bell, or don't hit the notification bell there, but please do hit it here. That is Starship After Dark, which is our secondary channel, tracking the world live with static views from all over the place. And we cover just about everything over there. We're going to have some, we're working on getting our QCast program to work on this Zoran Linux. And we're having a little bit of a mismatch. I can't run it on wine and bottles because it gets too corrupted really quick, because it's a Windows running within it, and it's got to be all Linux. I don't want anything Windows. I don't even want the computer to be able to see a Windows computer. I'm serious. I want this to be nothing but Linux. And so we're having to rewrite the program, use AI to rewrite the program, and we're having a hard time getting it to work. But we're going to get there. Once we do, 1, 2, 3 more computers. Was going to be Chicago police scanner, different kinds of scanner, maybe an amateur radio scanner. We're going to do all kinds of stuff because we have the systems here, we have the internet, we have the tools, we have the talent, and all that kind of good stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun, so definitely join us over there. Oh, we do have memberships for $2. Yes, they're $2, guys. That's it. We're going to have our first Zoom meeting coming up in a couple of weeks. Everybody that's a member can come into the Zoom, and in the Zoom meeting, we'll talk about whatever. The first part of the meeting, I'm going to hold it kind of like a town hall, where we're going to ask for comments and suggestions and stuff. And then the second half of the meeting is just going to be basically an open free-for-all where we just all talk to each other. It's going to be fun. Yeah, it should be. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. There's a members-only video I put up. I'm going to be putting up some more of these. They're really funny segments that we did on Trey's show. I've also got a few other ideas, too, for stuff for members. And I'm also down the road, I'm going to have a second-tier membership. It's going to be a while, 6 months, maybe a year. But I will have a second-tier membership. And that second-tier membership will get you, it'll get you API access to all of my AI tools and stuff. And it's still only going to be like $5 or $10. So it'll be really cool. I can't wait to get that done. But for right now, it's just $2. And once you've been here a month, the little rank thing goes up. It's pretty cool. All right, so what else do we got here? Yeah, Dom, I agree, and that is definitely one of the things I was going to talk about tonight. So this is pretty much what I had to tell you about this. I think it's absolutely crazy that I don't know, man. Muslims brought down those buildings in New York. And 25 years later, they elect a Muslim to New York that wants to basically Muslimize New York and believes in all the same teachings that brought those buildings down. And now that guy's up there, and he's wanting to do a wealth tax. He wants a wealth tax. Everybody in the city, they want a city wealth tax. They want a state wealth tax. I'm telling you guys, they're killing themselves. Everybody's leaving. And here's the thing. When people leave California and they move to Texas, who's leaving? It's not the guy on food stamps. It's not the homeless guy on Skid Road that we see on there sometimes. That's not who's leaving. It's not the middle class guy that drives a forklift for a living. It's not the firefighter or the police officer. Do you know who's leaving? The rich, because they're the ones being affected by all these extra taxes. And so when the rich leave and they take their businesses with them, most of their employees will move too. What they're finding is when the boss comes out and says, guys, I hate to do this, but in 30 days we're moving to South Florida. I'm literally moving to Ocala, Florida or somewhere. And we're going to set up our shop there. And if you guys want to move, I'll help you with your expenses or whatever, which is what a lot of these places do. And what they're finding is all the people are like, yeah, let's move. We want out of this shithole too. And so we've got people moving here so fast. They're building just in North Fort Myers. This is a bedroom community for Fort Myers. It's a little small place, little dumpy lower middle place, okay? And they're building 10 or 12 of those 100 plus unit multifamily. They call them affordable housing, and the rent starts at like $1,500 a month. I don't know where that's affordable housing. In New York, that would be affordable housing. Well, Ted, that's not a good prediction, but I hope you're wrong. He seems to be very, very, very good right now. Very, very virile and spry, as they say. Yeah, Gavin Newsom, I mean, he literally destroyed a city, and now he's run a state right into the side of the mountain, and now he wants to be the president. That's a typical liberal. They thrive in failure. You know, you got just the most amazing failures on the left.
Private conference with the flight director here in Mission Control to go over the vehicle status and any other questions or concerns they may have for the remainder of their flight. We are currently in flight day 6, and we have a splashdown expected on Friday, April 10th. That splashdown expected in about 3 days, 21 hours, and 49 minutes from now. During the lunar flyby, and as part of Artemis 2, it marked the first time in more than 50 years that humans were able to observe the moon directly, and provided a critical opportunity to practice how lunar science will be conducted during future Artemis missions. The moon preserves a near-continuous record of solar system history that has been erased on Earth, and with no atmosphere, weather, or plate tectonics, the lunar surface retains evidence of ancient impacts, volcanism, and solar activity that scientists can study today. Studying the moon helps scientists understand how planets formed and evolved, how the moon influenced Earth's history, and how the early sun shaped conditions across the inner solar system. The moon also serves as a unique platform for studying the broader universe.
Maybe it'll tell us who made it and towed it here.
Designed around questions best answered by humans working alongside robotic systems, combining decades of robotic lunar data with real-time human judgment, context, and adaptability. Currently on your screen, you're seeing a look at the Artemis Real-Time Orbit website. You can access this website at any time throughout the
Pocahontas is in the hospital.
/track Artemis. It provides updates on the velocity as well as the distance from Earth and the distance from the moon of the Orion spacecraft and its crew. The crew currently on board the Orion spacecraft includes NASA astronaut Reed Wiseman, who is the commander for the mission, NASA astronaut Victor Glover, who is the pilot, alongside the 2 mission specialists, who are Christina Cook and Jeremy Hansen of the Canadian Space Agency. Currently, the Orion spacecraft is about 250,000 miles away from the Earth, and that distance now will continue to close down ahead of that splashdown on April 10th. And they are now about 8,100 miles away from the moon.
I'll be right back in just a few minutes, guys.
And that distance will continue to increase as they are now in the return leg of their journey.
Hey guys, this is one of my favorite songs. Just enjoy this. I'll be right back. NASA's not speaking right now, so.
Well, I turned on the TV. What a sorry sight. Left us out there hugging every terrorist in the night. And they scream from the river to the sea while rockets fly. Then cry when the bad guys make the good guys die. They'll defend every dictator from Tehran to Havana. Long as he hates America, he's their kind of man. Oh, it ain't right and left no more. It's right and wrong. The left keeps picking the bad guys every time they sing their song. They love the tyrants, the thugs and the crooks, while the rest of us are working and reading the good book. Blue states are broken, red states are rolling in dough, but they still scream tax the rich like it's some kind of show. They march with blow-up rats in rainbow capes, blue-haired Karens and beta males in their safe space parade. They glue themselves to the road for the climate today. Tomorrow they're blocking traffic for some new Marxist play. They'll cancel your job if you don't use the right word, but defend every groomer and pedophile they've ever heard. It ain't right and left no more. It's right and wrong. The left keeps backing the bad guys, singing the same old song. They cheer for the terrorists, the socialists, the crooks, while their cities burn down and they rewrite all the books. Blue states tax you till you're broke, red states let you keep your pay, but they still scream, eat the red, every single day. California's bankrupt, New York City's a mess, Chicago's on fire and they blame it on right-wing stress. They spend like drunk sailors on every dumb idea, while red states are thriving with low taxes and cold beer. They print more money than a counterfeit ring, then wonder why inflation's got the middle class on the brink. They say they're for the people, but they hate the working man. They love every tyrant with a 5-year plan. From Hamas to Maduro, from Beijing to Tehran, if he hates America, he's their kind of man. It ain't right and left no more. It's right and wrong. The left keeps choosing evil every time they play that song. They'll back the bad guys, the thugs and the crooks, while the rest of us are praying and reading the good book. Blue states are dying, red states are doing just fine, but they'll keep on spending till they run out of other people's dimes. Yeah, it ain't about left and right anymore. It's about right and dead wrong. Pass the beer, boys. We got work to do.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Starship Adventures. Thanks for hanging in there. This is our second hour. And we are going to, this hour, I'm going to be covering exactly what's going on in the Middle East. We're going to be talking about what's probably going to happen here in the next 24 hours unless they start cooperating. As you guys know, one of the reasons that I elected Donald Trump and so many others is because he doesn't bullshit. If he tells you, do something or I'm going to bomb you, he does it. Unlike all the other presidents, for the most part, all the, hold on, let me let her in. Come on, Mama. Come on, Mama Kitty. Oh, Mama's health is so good right now. She's gaining weight. Her fur's all looking really good. She's just doing really, look at that tail. I mean, she is just, look at that tail. It's like a plume. I mean, this cat's health has returned like gangbusters. Yeah. Big old fluffy cat. All right, so yeah, this hour we're going to be talking about, let me sit this over here. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the Middle East. President Donald Trump, 48 hours ago, issued a window for Iran to reopen the Straits of Hormuz, and that will end today. It's ending now. Trump vowed that Tuesday would be power plant and bridge day if Iran does not agree to a deal. Right now, there is no news of a deal. We're still waiting to hear. I know that the diplomatic lines are open. Yeah, I'll do that, Dispatch. I'll get you one or two here, one way or the other. Let's see here. It's hard to do something like that while I'm going here. Hi, Ed. You going to say hi to everybody? Oh, here, let me. I didn't even turn the screen on. I was showing you guys the cat's tail, and I didn't hit the button for the screen. Say hi to everybody, Ed. Hi. Yeah, that you're saying hi to me. That's fine. Yeah, this is Ed. I'll get her back over here. She's just, all of a sudden, her everything's just, you know, a cat's health goes up and down really fast. You don't realize it. They're kind of like babies in a way. Their health can be really good 1 minute, and 12 hours later, they can be literally on their deathbed. I don't know what it is. I guess because of their size. They also heal about 3 times faster than we do. They get a big cut or a big gash. They heal at about 3 times the rate that we do, as long as they leave it alone. And so it's kind of interesting. Cats and people, definitely metabolisms are very different. All right, anyway, J.D. Vance and others have been negotiating with the Iranian regime through Pakistani mediators throughout the weekend. One proposed deal would see an immediate ceasefire, reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, followed by more than 2 weeks of wider negotiations during a ceasefire. And so we're hoping to get something like that going. The Mashasha petrochemical special economic zone in southwest Iran has been evacuated amid threats by Donald Trump to bomb Iranian energy infrastructure, including power plants and bridges. The zone's public relations office said all personnel were ordered to evacuate by the region's emergency command committee, according to the Iranian International. Let's see. Hi, Ed. Trump's threats come amid Tehran's reluctance to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. He set a Tuesday night deadline before warning of dire consequences. Now, Tuesday night. Understand that Monday night is ending over there right now. Now, see, we're just going into Monday night, but they're coming out of Monday night. Okay, when we end this show in another hour, it's going to be first light over there. Okay, so we're going to be talking, you know, probably 12, 13 hours from now. It'll start getting dark over there, and then something at that point, something's going to happen. And I have a funny feeling that he doesn't make idle threats, guys. Trump has never said, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it great, it's gonna be big, and then not do it. He doesn't do that, okay? If he says he's going to do it, he does it. That's just, I'm serious. And so I'm hoping they negotiate. They got to know what's on the table here. Our military can bond them back into the 6th century, which they're almost there now. I don't know. If they were smart at all, they would deal. Look, we don't want their country. We want to buy their oil. It's not like, it's like, dude, we just want you guys to quit cutting off the heads of our damn citizens. We just want you to stop being the biggest state sponsor of terror in the entire world. We just want you to stop banging Israel because they're Israeli, because they're Jewish. We want you to stop hating and shooting and killing, but that's what their religion teaches them to do, unfortunately. It is. I don't know what to tell you. But at least if you bomb them back to the 6th century, it's going to take them a while to get back, isn't it? And that's like kind of where we're at. But we don't want their country. We're not nation building. We're not going to put in a regent board to keep things going for a while till they write a new constitution. We tried all that. It doesn't work in the Middle East. Nation building does not work in the Middle East. Nation building has never worked in the Middle East. Okay? And it certainly didn't work for George H.W. Bush. Or George W. Bush, I mean. And so, what you got to do is just bomb them to the point that they play Let's Make a Deal. And then make a deal, and then help them out. Say, look, okay, make the deal. We won't bomb your power plants. We'll let you get fuel. We'll let your country run. And we will slowly work you back into the global economy and get you going again. But we're not going to come in there and nation build. We're not going to go in there and try to run the place like we did in Iraq. What a joke. Like we did in Afghanistan. What a joke. Yeah. What we need to do, if they don't, I guess if they don't, I hate to do it. I really do. These people don't have much. And I hate to take their power plants and their bridges away. I mean, you're literally bombing them into the 6th century. But they know what's on the table. They know what's on the table. And they need to do what they got to do. They've got to end this. It's not up to us. It's up to them. The ultimatum's on the table. They can keep their sovereignty. They can keep their country. They can even keep their oil. We're not coming to take their frickin' oil. I'm so sick of Democrats. Donald Trump just wants their oil. Guess what? We're making enough oil here for ourselves now. Now that Joe Biden hasn't shut down all the pipelines and shut down all the exploration and shut down about a third of the drilling and shut down about a fourth of the pumping and shut down about a fifth of the refining, bastard. Joe Biden hurt this place so bad, especially when it comes to the fuel. The liberals, they want gas as high as they can get it because they want you in that electric car. It's so short-sighted. California not building any new gas stations as of next year. No new gas stations. It's absolutely ridiculous. And it's all just a joke. It's all because of this global warming thing, which is nothing but a joke. I don't even think I'm going to do all that tonight. We could talk about the hole in the ozone layer. We could talk about the acid rain. We could talk about the global warming, the climate disruption, the coming ice age. That all these things were supposed to happen. Tides rising up into Miami. Al Gore said in 2010, there'll be water rising up into the streets of Miami. And this water will flood into the homes along the highway. Bullshit. It never happened. It never happened. Our tide is exactly where it was 50 years ago. Al Gore, you moron. Jesus. New York City will have water. Shut up. Just shut up. You know where Al Gore is right now? He's in one of his 5 homes. His collective electric bill is $7,000 a month. That's where Al Gore's at. He's soaking up the electricity. That's right. Yes, California will not allow any new refineries, and they want to close the ones they got. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yep. Yeah, William, he shut down. They did everything they could to shut down everything they could. And then he tried to drain the oil reserves out too. They did everything they could to make gas as expensive as they could make it. And that's why when these liberals are now, they're saying, look what Trump's done to the gas prices. I'm like, it's still not as high as when dumbass was president. Are you kidding me? It was freaking $4.50 a gallon or something down here at one point when he was president. Jeez. Yes, the ice caps were all going to melt. They said that the North Pole would be completely exposed. That didn't happen. Oh, here's the crew. Let's see what they're talking about.
We have adjusted the fan speed. We'll take a thumbs up if you're happy with it.
Oh, it looks like the air conditioner's
Thumbs
working.
up. Superlative thumbs up.
Somebody said, why is there one Canadian? I'm like, well, you know, we're trying to be diverse.
All of the Artemis 2 crew members. CSA astronaut Jeremy Hansen just floated out of view behind the camera, but you can still see NASA astronaut Reed Wiseman, NASA astronaut Christina Cook, and NASA astronaut Victor Glover as they prepare for an upcoming Public Affairs Downlink event, which is scheduled to take place in just a couple minutes from now. And there, floating back onto the screen, is CSA or Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. He is making himself comfy on some of the OX or Orion Crew Survival System suits that have been stowed for the outbound and now return journey. Shortly after the completion of these couple of public affairs downlink events, the crew will begin winding down for their day, and they will have the opportunity to eat dinner. Some of the items on their menu today for dinner include chicken with corn and black beans, sweet and sour pork, rice pilaf, spicy green beans, citrus fruit salad, and maple cream cookies. All of the
You fly all the way to the moon and you still have to eat what everybody else is eating. Ain't that some shit?
And now we will go ahead and stand by for that public affairs event beginning in just about a minute.
Yeah, Jungle, come to find out they don't make any money for the people that own them either. That's the bad part. Yeah. Yeah, windmills are a loser. The solar panel farms actually are... They're not making much money either, but I think they're a little more stable than the wind farms. They both take a lot of land.
Integrity Houston, no action for the DU-1 caution. We're taking a look.
Hey, if these four are here, who's flying the ship?
Integrity, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Hello, Houston. Integrity is ready for the event.
Oh, good, an event.
Administrator Isaacman, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Integrity for a voice check.
Integrity, Jared Isaacman, comm check.
Administrator Isaacman, we've got you loud and clear, sir. How us?
I've got you loud and clear. Artemis 2 crew, we have a very special guest who wanted to be the first person to greet you after
and made all America really proud, incredibly proud. We have a lot of things to be proud of lately, but this is there's nothing like what you're doing, circling around the moon for the first time in more than a half a century.
It's Trump!
And breaking the all-time record for the farthest distance from planet Earth. Humans have really never seen anything quite like what you're doing in a manned spacecraft. It's really special. I want to personally salute and congratulate Commander Reed Wiseman, Pilot Victor Glover, Mission Specialist Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen, And I also want to thank the entire amazing team at NASA, headed by Jared, who's a very special guy, by the way. And you all made this day possible, and you've really inspired the entire world. Really, everybody's watching. They find it incredible. I just watched you go to the back of the moon, and people haven't been there in a long time, we can say, but it's going to be more and more prevalent because we're going to be doing a lot of traveling, and then you're going to ultimately do the whole big trip to Mars, and that's going to be very exciting. So you look at, we had no astronaut has been to the moon since the days of Apollo program. The Apollo program was also very special, but that was 50 years ago, and at long last, America is back, and America is back in many ways stronger than ever before. We're the hottest country anywhere in the world. The Artemis crew flew in the most powerful rocket NASA has ever made, ever launched, traveled over 250,000 miles, broke the distance record set by the legendary Apollo 13. And America is a frontier nation, and the 4 brave astronauts of Artemis 2 are a modern day, you really are modern day pioneers, all of you. And one of them happens to be a neighbor. You know who that is, right? You have a special person over there, a neighbor, and we like our neighbor. Your mission paves the way for America's return to the lunar surface very soon. We're going all out. We're doing everything we can, and it's headed up by Jared. We'll plant our flag once again, and this time we won't just leave footprints. We'll establish a permanent presence on the moon, and we'll push on to Mars. That'll be very exciting. I'm waiting for that so much. I'd love to be here, but maybe we won't quite make it in terms of timing, but we will be up in the moon, and that's going to happen soon. So America will be second to none in space and everything else that we're doing, and we will continue to lead the whole thing into the stars, this incredible journey into the stars. So I just wanted, it's an honor to speak to you, and I wanted to congratulate each and every one of you. And tell me, what is the most unforgettable part of this really historic day? The whole world is watching and listening. Please tell me.
President, this call is certainly special to all of us, and we really have a lot of faith in our administrator, Jared Isaacman, who is with you. We appreciate his leadership in NASA and in the international community. We are doing great things, and we are proud to be a part of. I have to tell you, as we came around the near side of the moon, seeing all the sights that we've seen from Earth for all of our lives, but we're seeing them from a different perspective, and then we started to get a glimpse of the and we saw sites, Oriental sites that no human has ever seen before, not even in Apollo, and that was amazing for us. And then the surprise of the day, we just came out of an eclipse where the sun, moon, and the entire dark moon about that big right out the window that we were watching. We could see the corona of the sun, and then we could see the planet train line up, and at Mars, and all of us commented how excited we are to watch this nation and this planet become a 2-planet species.
That is fantastic. You know, I had a decision to make in my first term, and the decision is, what are we going to do at NASA? Are we going to have it be revived, or are we going to close it down? And I had very little hesitation, and it's really great to have somebody like Jared involved, because he really makes it much easier for me. But it was not even a question in my own mind. We've spent what we had to do, and then of course we have Space Force, and Space Force is very much related to what you're doing, and that was my baby. That was a very important one, and it'll turn out to be truly one of the most important, I believe, decisions I've ever made. So we're very proud of Space Force, and we're very proud of all of you. Does anybody else have anything to say? A lot of people listening.
Mr. President, to be here with you speaking about our incredible day today. I think one of the biggest highlights was coming back from the far side of the moon and having the first glimpses of planet Earth again after being out of communication for about 45 minutes. It really just reminds you what a special place we have and how important it is for our nation to lead and not follow in exploring deep space.
I'd like to ask, what was your feeling when you had no communication, zero communication, all of a sudden it was cut off by, obviously, your very special location. What was your feeling when you had no communication? A little bit different, perhaps?
Yes, Mr. President, it was cold. I said a little prayer, but then I had to keep rolling. I was actually recording scientific observations of the far side of the moon. You know, that is actually the time when we were the farthest and the closest to the moon. And so we were really able to make some of our most detailed observations of the far side of the moon up close. And so we were busy up here working really hard. And I must say, it was actually quite nice.
Did you see a difference, a big difference, between the far side of the moon and the near side of the moon? Was there a difference in feel or difference in look? What did you see?
Well, Mr. President, we certainly did, and our science team really set us up well to understand what they thought we might see. And the gravitational pull of the Earth has had a profound effect on the near side of the moon, changing all those dark mares, those dark patches of the moon you see from Earth. It's very different on the far side. While you see some small patches of those mare in deep craters, it's very much absent on that side, so that's really neat. And while I have the microphone, sir, I just want to thank you on behalf of Canada. The space leadership you spoke of from America truly is extraordinary. I've said this many times before. A nation that leads like that and creates and sets big goals for humanity that brings other countries along with it is truly incredible. And I know that's a very intentional, not a necessary decision, intentional decision to lead by example and to allow other countries like Canada to share our gifts and help you achieve these mutually beneficial goals, like establishing a presence on the moon and eventually going to Mars. And Canadians are so proud to be a part of this program.
Well, I have to say I spoke to a very special person, Wayne Gretzky, who I think you know, the great one. And I spoke to your Prime Minister and many other friends I have in Canada. They are so proud of you. And you have a lot of courage. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that. I'm not even sure if the great one would want to do that, to be honest with you. But you have a lot of courage doing what you're doing, a lot of bravery and a lot of genius. But they're very, very proud of you.
They're all shy. None of them want to grab the microphone. It's like, somebody grab it. So it's the president on the line. Somebody say something. Hello? Artemis Houston, over. Comm check. Hello? Artemis Houston, comm check, over. What are these guys doing? I'm going to buy them a mic stand.
Administrator Alex, I'm going to just get a quick comm check, make sure you guys are still on the line and we didn't have a handover.
I am. Yes, I am.
And, somebody talk, for Christ's sake. You know what this line's costing right now?
Yeah, I think we might have gotten cut off. It is a long distance. It's a long ways. The reception's been great. There's a little bit of about a 9-second delay, but no, I just had a statement for, I don't know what you heard, but I was just saying they're very proud of your brilliant person from Canada on the ship. And Wayne Gretzky is a great friend of mine, and he's very proud of him. And the Prime Minister I spoke to, they're very, very honored that you have a courageous person from Canada. You have a lot of courageous people from Canada. So it was very nice. I'm not sure if you heard me say that, but it was very nice.
Yes, Mr. President, we heard that, and we do love our Jeremy Hansen. We love all our Canadian astronauts, Jenny Gibbons, Josh Kutrick. They're just great people, and they're such a welcome addition to our Corps.
Great. Well, I really look forward to when we can, I look forward to seeing you in the Oval Office. I'll ask Jared to bring you over, and I'll ask for your autograph, because I don't really ask for autographs much, but you deserve that. You really are something. Everybody's talking about this. And I look forward to having you in the Oval Office at the White House, and we will celebrate your incredible achievements and triumphs. This is big. This is really big stuff. The whole world is talking about it. And if you have the time, I will certainly find the time. I've been pretty busy also, as you know, but I will absolutely find the time, and we'll get together, and I'm going to be giving you a big salute on behalf of the American people and beyond that.
Thank you for that, Mr. President. And when you want us, we will be there. And thank you for your leadership. Thank you to Jared for his leadership. Really, thank you for taking the time out today to visit NASA. It's really special for us, but it's really special for the team on the ground. A whole team of people all around the world pulled this off, and we just want to say thank you to all of you for this. It is the thrill and honor of a lifetime to have been on this journey. Today was amazing, but this 3-year journey has been amazing, and it was made possible by the American people and the Canadian people, and we're so grateful to you all. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. And Jared, congratulations. We'll see you soon. And I know that you have Mars very much in your mind, so we'll start thinking about that pretty soon, I think. And thank you. Congratulations to everybody. I'll see you at the Oval Office.
Thank you for your time, Mr. President. It's been an honor.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Integrity. This is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all participants. Integrity, we are now resuming operational audio communications.
All right, so there you go. That concludes the event, as they call it. The Trump-a-line. Nobody showed it. I was watching. Nobody took it. Nobody took it. I don't know. Whatever. That movie I watched today, guys, that I told you guys about, you guys remember The Right Stuff? If you guys are into this stuff, if you're into it, there's some really good movies out there. The first one is called The Right Stuff. That's a really good movie. All right? It's about the whole thing, right up to the first man going up into space and the rush with the Russians and all that. The Right Stuff. And then, of course, the second one that's a must-watch, Tom Hanks' Apollo 13. That's a must-view. And then the one I watched today, which was a really, really good movie, is that one there.
This is Artemis Mission Control in Houston, Texas. We just had that public affairs event with President Donald Trump and the crew on board the Orion spacecraft. And coming up in about 10 minutes, there will be another...
And then the fourth movie that you need to watch. I know this is crazy. I'm giving you guys homework. If you really want another amazing movie, it's this one here. Called Hidden Figures from 2016. It's about these black women that were literally geniuses. And they helped do all of the math. They were doing math using different kinds of math. I don't even know how to explain it. I don't even understand it exactly. It was absolutely amazing. And it's a journey that these women went through, and they all became very respected and everything. And I just thought it was a really great movie. Yes, Hidden Figures, epic. That Neil Armstrong movie, I watched it this morning at 5 a.m. in the morning when I couldn't sleep. It's a great watch. And then, of course, the other two, The Right Stuff and Apollo 13. There is a few others, but those are the four. Those are my four go-tos now. I love those movies. If you watch all four of those movies, you will have a great understanding, because all four of them were done trying to be as realistic and close to reality as possible. So if you watch those four movies, you'll actually have a much a much deeper knowledge of all of the stuff that went on back then to get us to space and then to get us to the moon. Yeah, try all those movies. I think you'll like them all. Even that Right Stuff was made like 25, 30 years ago, but it's all stars. It was a well done movie. It was, they talked, you know, it was, they covered, that movie's great about like the engineers and the scientists were always in arguments with the astronauts because they were like, well, you don't need a window. And the astronauts goes, yes, I do need a window, you know, and stuff like that. And so it's kind of neat, you know. Let's hear what they're talking. They're talking again. Let's see what's going on.
We copy, and we love seeing those smiles.
Okay, apparently no big deal. All right. They had said something there. Yep, those are all good movies. There's other ones. There's one about the secret mission that went up 17 or whatever it was. There was a neat one about that. They went up there and the Russians had been there and there was like an alien up there. That's fiction though, or at least it's purported to be, supposed to be fiction. Yeah, there's some different ones, but those are all the ones that I recommend. And then if you want to get into the conspiracy theories, you can look up Richard C. Hoagland, Data's Head, and stuff like that. There's weird things that happened up there, you know, and stuff you can look into. If you're into conspiracies, and I know some of you are, and that's cool. There is a few with the moon landings. There's weird things that happened, and so it's kind of cool to look into that stuff. He's got 2 watches on. He doesn't. One of those is, I'm sure that black thing is a monitor. It's probably monitoring his heart rate. Yep, that's what that is. That's a monitor. They probably all have that on. I bet you all 4 of them have that black watch on. Yeah, they've all got it on. See, he's got a watch on both arms too. One of them is a physio monitor. All right, so let's get back. I want to just finish up over here. I think that we might see some things in the Middle East. We're going to have to see what happens with this. Are they going to sit down? Are they going to talk? Or is this going to end up, are we going to end up going over there and literally bombing them back into the Stone Ages? The problem is they're negotiating with people that may or may not actually be in charge. That's another problem you run into in situations like this. Just because you're negotiating with someone that you think is the legal president or the legal person that you're supposed to be, that doesn't mean that that's who the people on the ground are going to end up following as their new leader or whatever. So it's really a tough situation. Yep, William, I agree. Yep. All right, let's see what else here. "15 U.S. service members were injured hours ago following an Iranian drone strike on a Kuwait Air Force base. At least 15 U.S. military service members were injured during the Iranian missile strike in Kuwait, according to reports. The Americans were injured during the Iranian drone. They say the same thing like 5 times. It's the Ali al-Shalam Air Base. Overnight, 2 U.S. officials told CBS News most have returned to duty. They were minor injuries. They had a London Jewish ambulance arson. A bunch of ambulances got burned up overnight in London, and it's blamed on Islamic extremists did it. So they're investigating that. They lost a bunch of emergency vehicles. Trump to host White House Passover reception. That happened. Netanyahu approves plan to return 2.5 million children to the classroom after a 5-week hiatus. They're trying to get things back to normal over there. U.S. stock prices rose today because deadline for Iran's reopening Strait of Hormuz looms. The stock market, believe it or not, actually sometimes prefers action. Even if it's questionable or even if some people don't like it, they would rather see action over inaction. And I think that the stock market just wants to see the straits open. And they don't even give a shit how at this point. Russia provided Iran with a list of Israeli energy targets. That's just wonderful. Russia giving Iran information on Israel. That's just awesome. Iran has now reported that 4 of their officers were killed by U.S. forces during the pilot rescue mission. In the early hours of Sunday, these Army officers engaged in direct combat with enemy fighter jets, helicopters, armed drones, and support aircraft in the Mehar area of Isfahan. Opened fire at the aerial targets after a shoulder-fired missile struck one of the attacking aircraft. They were targeted by other enemy aircraft and killed. This, according to the Iranian army, in a statement. The officials were identified as a brigadier general, a colonel, another colonel, and a lieutenant. Why would they have all that brass flying around on one chopper anyway? That's a little crazy. So our guy goes down and they send out a bunch of colonels to go get him? That doesn't sound right. Also, there was more erroneous reports that claims from Iran that it attacked and struck a U.S. Navy amphibious assault ship with missiles are false, according to CENTCOM. The Iran Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said it struck the USS Tripoli, forcing it to withdraw from the region to the southern Indian Ocean. Fact is, USS Tripoli has not been attacked and continues to sail in the Arabian Sea in support of Operation Epic Fury, this according to official CENTCOM X post. The American-class amphibious assault ship serves as the flagship for the Tripoli Amphibious Ready Group, 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, composed of about 3,500 sailors and Marines, in addition to transport and strike fighter craft, as well as amphibious assault and tactical assets. Sounds like some important shit, whatever. Trump slams NATO as a paper tiger and rebukes Pacific allies for lack of support against Iran. You know, I'm telling you, I hate to say, I'm telling you guys, I'm kind of a radical on this globalist bullshit, and I'm telling you guys something. I think he should pull out of NATO. I think he should kick the UN off of our soil. We should stop paying those assholes. We give them a place here for nothing. They got this big-ass building, that's the United Nations, and they're a bunch of pussies. They love terrorists. They're idiots. They hate Jews. They're just your typical crap. I think we should get rid of the United Nations. Just get rid of it. We don't need it. Doesn't need to be here. We can take care of ourselves. All right? We're at the point where we can, there's no army that can stand up to us. So at this point, I think we just need to pull out of NATO and tell Europe, look, you guys deal with it this time. And next time the Germans are taking over all of Europe, don't call us, since you weren't willing to help. NATO is useless. We need to get out of it, quit paying for it. We pay the majority of it, and it benefits mostly them. It's worthless. UN, same thing. Pull our funding. Tell them, you guys need to go find a nice building in Mumbai and rent that sumbitch because you're done here. Goodbye. You are the weakest link. Goodbye. And be done with it. Just get rid of it. The United Nations is worthless. It's literally like, God, what is it? I don't know. It's almost like a completely dysfunctional thing that just exists to exist. Has the UN ever done anything other than send a bunch of their people in to rape women? I mean, really? Has the UN ever what? Can you guys, I want you to think, put your cap, think. What has the UN done that's worked out well and done well? That didn't involve their blue helmets raping everybody? What, and that is a big problem, by the way, what has the United Nations done for this world? Where's my Jeopardy music? Oh, that's right. I'll get copyright. I can't think of a single thing that the UN has done for us. It's literally, it's something we do because we're supposed to do it, and that's why we do it, because we're supposed to do it. Yes, they run around with diplomatic immunity, committing assault and all kinds of different things in our big city, New York. It's terrible. They all got diplomatic immunity. They're all driving around like assholes with no driver's license. I'm telling you something. We don't need the United Nations, and we certainly don't need it here. Just tell them to get out. Evict their ass. Yeah, it's been time for a national divorce. We need to pull out of all that shit. Now, am I saying we need to close all our bases overseas? We need to shut down our foreign policy? We need to close our embassies? No, I'm not going that far now. Let's keep this in perspective. I just think that anything that is useless, we need to shut it down at this point. It's worthless. I think they're replaying this from earlier. Yeah, this is a replay from earlier. It is a puppet of globalism. And I'll be honest, I don't want no part of it. I don't like what they stand for, and I never have liked what they stand for. Yes, don't forget the UFO podcast. It comes on 1 hour before this show, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. on the left coast. And you can catch it over at that link right there. Please check that link out. It's the podcast UFO show. Check it out. It's worth watching. And I would see you there, but I will be in transit from work. But anyway, go ahead and show them some love over there. Matt, I tend to agree. I don't hate Europe. I don't hate anybody in Europe. But I'm sick of them, to be honest with you. They're a bunch of schmucks. They have allowed every Muslim in the world and half the rest of the world move into their countries, and they're losing their very culture. They have whole country, whole provinces over there that are Muslim majority now. And they're starting to slowly lose their culture. It's getting to the point where more and more people don't speak English or don't speak French or don't speak German. And it's getting to be really difficult to live over there. And the same thing's happening here. It's just 10 years behind. When we say that 10,000 Somalis moved to Minnesota, and every one of them is committing fraud against the federal government in the amount of billions of dollars, billions and billions and billions of dollars. That's crazy when you think about it. That's absolutely crazy. And yeah, I just saw something pop up there that I want to cover tonight. We are looking at a severe weather weekend, guys, coming up on Saturday this coming week. Oklahoma, possibility of long track tornadoes. I will follow this more as it gets closer. We don't have any outlook maps yet, but in a few days, as the outlook starts to come into focus, I'll start to post on my blog about it, and we'll talk about it here on the show. But possibility of a severe weather. We are coming into the very front end of tornado season right now. Another thing I wanted to mention to you guys, I'm coming up on my 2 hours, and I'm going to be signing off here before long. But I just wanted to mention to you guys, I am taking a 2-week vacation. I'm taking a 2-week vacation to spend time with my mom while she's still here. I want to spend time with her. You know, she's doing better. Last couple weeks, she's been doing better and better. And so I'm taking her up there. We're going to spend 10 days at the cabin. That's the good news. The bad news is it's going to be messed up shows for a week, guys. I don't know what... You guys just have 3 weeks a year. You guys have to deal with me for 3 weeks a year. I do have the antenna air card thing that's going to be working this time. It did not work last time. Come to find out, the SIM card had gone bad. All week, I was up there effing around with this thing, sticking it in 3 different devices. Couldn't figure out why not the SIM card's gone bad. So I'm going down this week to get a new SIM card, and I'm going to test it before I leave, and I will have much better internet. Now, does that mean I can do these shows with all the different views and composites and screens? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm going to be able to do or carry, but if nothing else, I'll be able to do, you know, those little 45-minute shows I was doing from my bedroom upstairs, where I have this one little spot where my phone can be. Yeah, well, Mom does come first, you know. She's had 2 strokes, and, you know, I don't know. Every day is a blessing at this point, if you know what I mean. And you got to spend what time you can with them while they're here, you know. And so I'm going to do it. I get the time off work, so I'm taking it. I'm going to be leaving on a Friday and coming back on a Monday. I'm taking the extra 2 days, basically. And, yeah, I'm going to the cabin. We're also going to be going to see... And I'm going to be doing some broadcasting, guys. We're going to Stone Mountain, Georgia. We're literally going to Stone Mountain, Georgia, which is a big, huge rock that sticks up out of the ground. We're going to take the cable car, the sky car, up to the top, and I'm going to do a broadcast from atop of Stone Mountain overlooking Atlanta, Georgia, on that Friday. Or, no, it'll be Saturday morning. It'll be a Saturday morning broadcast. And then all this will be scheduled out ahead of time, and you'll know. And then we'll be going on up to the cabin. I'm gonna be doing live broadcasting. I'm gonna be doing POTA while I'm up there. I'm gonna be doing some different things. I'm gonna have the ham radio stuff. And then on the way back, we're going to Tallahassee, the capital of Florida, and I'm gonna do a live walkthrough with you guys in the Capitol, the old Capitol building in Tallahassee. And they've got the old Capitol is still there, and it sits right in front of the new Capitol building. It's really cool. And we're going to go there, and I'm going to give you guys a complete walking tour of the old Capitol building. And we're going to go up to the overlook. They've got an observation deck on top of the, it's an enclosed observation deck on top of the big, huge Capitol building. And I know how to get there. And we're going to go up there, and we're going to check all that out. And I'm going to do a broadcast from up there as well. Probably just little 30-minute ones telling you about the area, different stuff. And then, of course, each night at 9 o'clock, I'm going to come on and do something. That's true. And the fact that you can't express your opinion is literally the root of freedom. If you can't express your opinion, you aren't truly free. If you have to walk on eggshells 24 hours a day and you cannot say what's truly on your mind, you are not truly free. There's just no way. It doesn't work. Yeah, I don't think we're not going to take the laser show because the way our trip works out. We're going to get into town, and we've got some stuff we want to go see in Atlanta, like Chamblee, the old antique district and stuff. There's some different things we want to see in Atlanta, and we're going to do a couple of those when we arrive up there, because I leave at 4 in the morning, which means I'll be in Atlanta by noon. And we're going to go and spend the afternoon in Atlanta. We're going to have a nice dinner. We're going to have a nice hotel there in Snellville. And then we're going to get up in the morning and go over to Stone Mountain for the cable car ride about 10 in the morning. And we're going to go up and spend a couple hours up on top of the rock. And I'm going to do a broadcast. I'm bringing a little tripod and everything. I'm going to do a little broadcast from up there. It should be really cool. I'm looking forward to it. Mama, what are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? You going crazy? Yeah? I like when I ask her if she's going crazy and she replies yes. Well, all that sounds good. And Singwin, all that stuff sounds good, but it's just not the way humans work. Anytime you get 3 humans in the same room, there's corruption. I'm sorry. You know what? You can have the best people in the world come together in a church, and they'll all start colluding. You can have people all get together at a community center, and they're all doing it for the right reasons, and they all love the community, and they all love each other, and everything's great. And the moment they form that board and create a power center, the corruption begins. I don't care. I've never, ever had a group of more than 3 people where there wasn't some kind of corruption going on. It is just literally human nature. And so, I've become an observer of it rather than being astonished by it. It just happens everywhere. Yeah, that's right. The less you have, you know what? Janis Joplin said it best. As I say, the prophet Janis Joplin said it best when she said, freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. I want you to think about it. When you got a house full of stuff, and you got a storage room full of stuff, and you got 3 cars, and you got property and stuff on your property, that shit's all hanging around your neck. Freedom is truly having nothing to worry about. I'm a material person. I've got all my radios and my repeaters and my stuff, and look at it all in here. But freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. True freedom that's why these homeless people, it's like, why are these homeless people, they're all crazy, they're all alcohol, they're all on phonics. No, not all of them. A lot of them are following they're following the prophet Janis Joplin. They're literally, what they're doing is they're being free. And it's not the lifestyle I would choose, or maybe that you would choose. However, they're just being free. They have nothing to lose. They have a shopping cart full of garbage they picked up. And when the cop arrests him, he just pushes the cart off in the ditch and leaves it there. It may be there when they get out in 2 weeks. It may not. But you have nothing left to lose. You have nothing to your name that you care about. These people literally get to the point where they have nothing, and there is a sense of freedom to that. I know it sounds crazy because I'm a material person myself. But I'm telling you, there's something to that freedom of having nothing to lose. You don't have a job to lose. You don't have a house to lose. You don't have a car to lose. You don't have shit to lose, stuff to lose, credit cards to lose. You don't have a credit score to worry about. You don't have family to care about. You don't have anything. It's just you and the road. And the Christian people that stopped by and gave me that really nice tent or whatever. So you're telling me that NASA just went off? Is that what we're saying here? That NASA literally just went off? How does that even work? I thought they broadcast 24 damn hours a day. That's weird. The broadcast did not go off. Or did it? I know, Mom. I'm checking it out right now. I mean, maybe they reset their stream or something.
Leg of their journey, and Earth is now their target, with that splashdown targeted for April 10th.
All right, so there we go. Well, I like my stuff, but I understand the concept is what I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to live like that. I have 2 live broadcasts a day that I am responsible for. You talk about never being free. I mean, freedom is you wake up in the morning and you have nothing to do. You have no one to answer to. You have no taxes to pay. You have nobody coming looking for money. You have no landlord. You have no insurance. You have no... Think about it. You have nothing. You have nothing. These people are truly free. I don't think it's a good lifestyle. I think life's give and take. You give a little freedom away so that you can have a car. You give a little freedom away so that you can own some property and get a little bit of freedom back with that. So I don't know. It's kind of it's a give and take, I think. Yes, I agree, William. The government has gotten to the point where they're nothing but obstructionists. I'm going to tell you something. The worst thing that happens to a society or a community is a natural disaster. And our government here, not near as bad as other places, but still bad. We get a hurricane here, a Cat 5, called Ian, same as my name. Hits here, destroys everything. Our government here did everything they could to obstruct everything they could. There is still half of the buildings on Estero Island are still missing. It's just like the wildfires in California. We lost 10,000 structures. They've built back 36. 36! Why? The government has made it almost impossible to build a new house. So the government is literally making it impossible for you to build something to pay taxes on. That's how stupid they are. That's how stupid they are. And it's the same thing here after a hurricane. After Charlie, everybody evacuated Sanibel Island like they were told, and then they wouldn't let them back on for 7 days, and by the time they let everybody back to their houses, all their houses were ruined, all their property. Their house survived the storm, but 2 of the windows broke, and the water blew in, and the entire house mildewed. And it was because the government would not let people back into their homes. Not because they couldn't, they wouldn't. And so all those people got voted out and everything else. And then when these new storms come, they did the same thing again. It's stupid. And the government obstructs every single thing. They obstruct you getting to your property. They obstruct you mitigating your property. And then if you try to rebuild, you got to pull permits. And then they're going to say, well, wait a minute, if you're doing more than just minor stuff, you've got to get a contractor. I can't afford a contractor. I couldn't afford flood insurance, so I'm doing this on a couple $1,000s in FEMA money. I'm trying to put my house back together. And they come in, oh, well, if it's more than 50% destroyed, you have to tear it down and rebuild the whole thing. They won't even let you build it back. It was disgusting. Everybody down here having to fight for their property and fight for everything. The government, people that were completely wiped out, their whole life wiped out from this storm. And then the government fighting them. Here we are 4 years later. The government's still fighting these people. Code enforcement, fighting these people. Fire code, fighting these people. State of Florida, FEMA, fighting these people. It's ridiculous. Our government does nothing but obstruct. And they do it all because, oh, we got to do it. We got to make sure that if you put a plug in your house, it's done by a qualified electrician. Screw you. It's my house. If I want to rip a wall out and put a new wall in, I do it. And I'm never going to tell you about it. My God. Permits? Are you kidding me? I should not ever have to pull a permit for property I own. Period. As long as I don't go within 5 feet, build something within 5 feet of the lot line, I should be able to do whatever I want on my property. As long as I don't victimize my neighbors, I should be able to do what I want on my property. Who is the government to tell me what I can and can't do on my property? That's ridiculous. They charge me every year to live here. If I don't pay it, they take my property away from me. Think about this. It's our property. Yet if we don't pay them to keep it, it's not our property anymore. And number two, we're not allowed to do anything on it without getting the king's permission. It's disgusting. Why do we choose to live this way? Because half of us are freaking Karens, that's why. Because half of us they love to live in their little HOAs. Like City of Cape Coral, the largest homeowners association in the world, called City of Cape Coral. It's absolutely a joke. Everybody's a Karen. Everybody's gone. Their code enforcement, they have a patrol division. They patrol sprinkler enforcement at night, and they patrol code enforcement during the day. And they run those vehicles 24 hours a day. And they're always out looking 7 days a week for you to be watering your lawn on the wrong day. $100. Watering lawn on the wrong day. $100. You can't have a commercial vehicle. You can't park your boat in your side yard. You can't put an RV in the backyard. It's disgusting. It's your property, for Christ's sake. Yeah, incognita, up where my cabin's at, it's not quite that loose, but up there, I could build my own house. I would just have to follow a basic set of plans and let them know what I'm doing. Couple $100, I could build my own house and do it legally without a contractor. But down here, I have to have a licensed contractor. I can't, even if I put a shed out behind my house, I have to pull permits. I have to have a licensed contractor set the trailer and all that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I always say, I'm waiting for this story to pop up. I hate when they break a story, but they don't put it on the website right away. Now, Saturday Night Live did another assassination joke about Trump. There's some things you shouldn't joke around about, and they love to joke around about him being shot and killed, and I think that's just terrible. Oh, God. I guess at some point a bottle of Nutella got loose on the space station, and they've already made it into an ad. Or not the space station, but in the Artemis. They've already made it into some kind of ad or something. That's funny. Well, we'll do that tomorrow night. It's fine. The mass exodus of rich folks out of all these liberal states is going to now go into super duper high gear. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a little bit crazy. And remember, guys, it gets dark in Iran, in Tehran, about, I don't know, 9 or 10 tomorrow morning. So I'm just letting you know this could break at any time during the day. I think it's entirely possible that we go in hard tomorrow and take out the rest of their infrastructure completely. They don't have Cheese Whiz in France? That's crazy. I mean, it's not cheese, but I still eat it. Look, I don't. If you're gonna make macaroni and cheese, I prefer the blue box. It's saltier. It's better than the Velveeta. But if you're gonna like dip crackers in it, I prefer the Velveeta. So it all just depends on what it is. I don't mind the cheese product if I'm dipping crackers and shit in it. But I also don't. I would rather have my macaroni and cheese. I'd rather have the blue box than the yellow box. Yeah, oil futures are surging. Stock market was down. Stock market was actually doing good today. It's going to be a little volatile right now. This will resolve pretty quick, I'm telling you. Because I think we're going to bomb them back into the Stone Ages tonight. Yep, we're getting word that they have evacuated all their electric plants. They've evacuated their fuel depots, their refinery labs, and all that. I mean, they're just evacuating every place. So, why would they not just come to the table? I don't know. I think the problem is there's probably multiple factions. There's probably multiple factions that think that they're in charge. I think that might be part of it. Yeah, and Merlin, but my question on the whole France and cheap cheese, who the F is France to tell you what kind of cheese you can eat? Really? I mean, that's where I start to have a problem. A lot of these leftist countries, and even leftist states, they go way, way too far when it comes to stuff like that. They just do. I don't think they should do that. I mean, I want you to think about that for a minute. We're as your government, we feel it's our job to tell you what kind of cheese you can eat. That's bullshit. That's socialism bullshit right there. Well, you got to remember, it's dark over there when it's light here. It's going to get dark over there about 10 a.m. And I think that's when they're going to go in. They're going to do it under the cover of darkness, although they probably don't need to. Yeah. I mean, we're literally going in with AKs, and the people are standing there with rocks in their hands. It's pretty bad. But the man's given them chance after chance. For 47 years, they've been killing our people and fighting us. No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with taking profit. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a philanthropist, and I believe in capitalism. William, I agree. You should be able to buy it however you want. I have no problem with the government saying we recommend it's pasteurized. We want it labeled pasteurized. We want we want it to be prevalent. We want it to be there. We want people to use it. However, if someone doesn't want it, they should be able to get it the other way as well. It's the same thing with non-ethanol gas. You can spend an extra 60 cents a gallon and get non-ethanol gas. The reason it's so much more is because it doesn't have all that free government subsidy money in it. And so it's basically fuel, it's full price without all the subsidy. It's kind of crazy. Ethanol was a complete failure, by the way. It's another left-wing failure. What they actually have found out is that the electricity that's used during the entire process of bringing the seed all the way to fuel, the tractors and tractors and tractors and tractors, and then storing and moving and loading and unloading and storing and moving, and then using lots of kilowatts of electricity in order to convert the biomatter into a liquid fuel that's not near as efficient, by the way. These E85 cars get shit gas mileage. And what ends up happening is the government subsidizes it because it's no good. By the time you get done making ethanol, you get a gallon of ethanol, you've spent more than you can make on that gallon of ethanol. You spend more making it than you could ever sell it for. So the government steps in and they subsidize it, okay? And they say, okay, for every gallon of ethanol you make, we're going to give you $1. Oh, okay. And then they tell the fuel manufacturer, for every gallon you make, we're going to give you 50 cents. And so the government is actually falsely stimulating the process all along the way, so that at the end, it basically is a few cents cheaper than non-ethanol infused gasoline. Why? Because of all the government subsidies that are in it. When you get a gallon of ethanol, it costs $5 to make that gallon of ethanol. but yet you're only going to be able to sell it at the gas pump for $3.50. Okay? Once you mix it with the gas and everything else. So why are we doing it? Well, that's a damn good question, isn't it? They're doing it because the government's subsidizing it. So the question's not why are they doing it? The question's why are we doing it? It's our money. Why are we spending our money to do this? That's the question. Why do I subsidize E85 fuel all the time that I mostly don't use? Why is my tax money going to make it so that a farmer can feed his kids and a petroleum producer can feed his kids, because the product we're making has no profit? You can't make money off of ethanol. You make money off the government subsidies. You guys see where we're at? Ethanol is a complete failure. You guys know how much of that feed corn that you have to ground up just to make 1 gallon of ethanol? It's disgusting. Merlin. That's funny. I think that would be cow udder milk, wouldn't it? It is utterly ridiculous. Or maybe it would be teat. It would be teat milk. Anyway, I used to work at a dairy farm. Yep. That's funny. I've milked cows. Yeah, I had a friend. I had 2 different friends with farms, and it was kind of a novelty to go spend the weekend on the farm and milk the cows and milk the goats and gather the chickens and talk to the horses and maybe ride the horses, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Being down here back when I was growing up, this was country. It's not anymore, but when I was growing up, this shit was country. Anyway, an udder from an udder mutter. Yeah, I got lots of barn cats now. Oh. I don't know where Mama even went. Oh, she's back. She's way in the corner. I had this old little gold pillow that I use when my back is bad, and I laid it back behind this monitor in the corner over here. I had like some space left at the end of the monitor, and I had this pillow from work, and I didn't want to throw it out because it works great when my back's messed up. And so I just laid it over there on the end of the counter, and that's now her bed. Well, if you remind me, we'll do it one more day. It don't matter to me. Just catch the people we haven't gotten yet. Yes, I agree, Incognito. It's great how that works. Cows are quite efficient. I think they got neat little personalities, too, when you get to know them. When I was a kid, I used to go stay on my uncle's farm in Plant City. And they had a cow named Brownie Cow. And I was pals with that cow. I used to walk around with me. She used to hang out with me. I'd pet her all the time. She had a great little personality. And goats, too. They had 2 goats. One was a bitch and one was really nice. And they were named Wilma and Patty. And I asked him, I said, where did they get their names? And he said, they're named after my 2 bosses at work. One of them's a bitch and one of them's really nice. I said, let me guess, Patty's the nice one. He said, yep. Oh, my God. Oh, God, I hope it's California. I would love to see California succeed, because they would immediately go bankrupt within 18 months. Without the government, without the federal tit to suck on? Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Oh, please. Matter of fact, I think all 3 of the left coast states should form their own union. I think that would be amazing. I think it would be amazing. They should give all the regular people 90 days to get their shit moved out, and you guys can all move in here with us, and then we're going to give that left coast to the lefties, and I'm going to name that, we're going to name that country the Island of Misfit Toys. Or no, maybe that's been used already. I don't know. We'll think of a good name. We'll come up with a good name. We need their ports. No. What we'll do, we'll let them succeed, and then we'll take them over. We'll conquer them. I don't know. You are right. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and blow it off. You're right about the ports. But I'm also joking about the succeeding part. I don't think it's going to happen or could happen. But if California or one of these places wanted to succeed, see ya. Don't want to be ya. All right, guys, I've been on 2.5. Last call for the chat room. I'm going to be signing off. I promise this time I mean it. Just let me know what's up. I'll give it a couple more minutes here, and then we're going to go ahead and sign off. Don't forget those movies we talked about. The Right Stuff, Apollo 13, Hidden Figures, and whatever that other one was. First Man, 2018. The movie's called First Man. Those 4 movies are must-see. And since we're all in the mood for the moon again, now's a great time to go back and watch those 4 movies. I would probably suggest watch them in the order: The Right Stuff, The First Man, The Right Stuff, and then the one about the computers, and then First Man, and then Apollo 13 would be the third, because Apollo 13 would have been the thing that happened kind of after everything else. Yeah. Tomorrow could be epic. I don't know what's going to happen. I have to work tomorrow. So I will be here up until 2 o'clock. So if I get up and something starts happening at 9 or 10, I may go on for a couple of hours. We'll see. I'm going to be working on plumbing if not. Yeah, and there's others too. If other people know of a good movie that's kind of a docudrama that's truthful about the moon landings or about our space program, by all means throw them in there. There's a lot of them like Space Camp and stuff that were kind of campy and, you know, they were but I mean, that was a good kid movie, I guess. But those 4 I mentioned, those are really good, like, docudrama movies. They're good enough to be a movie, but they're smart enough to be a documentary, if you know what I mean. I don't know. I don't know enough about it to give advice on that. But when it comes to my money, I'm very cautious, and I would probably pull back for tomorrow. It's neat because in 3 of the 4 movies, they make a big deal about the media being camped out in the front yard of the wife that's waiting behind. In both 11 and 13, they did that, and also in The Right Stuff, I believe they referred to it as well. So, was Capricorn 1 the one where they faked them going and they pretended they were dead and then they ended up escaping? Was that Capricorn 1? I think it was. We'll look right back. Man, I'll tell you, at the ham convention, I bought these. I interviewed the guys. You guys can see it. It's at the Tampa. No. Yes, it was the Tampa Ham Fest. They sold these. They're wire snippers. And they got the cutter. They got the stripper and all this stuff. You can set the depth. They're just absolutely amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these. But really cool. The guys were selling them there. I used it today to do a bunch of wiring, and man, it just is a chick, 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 chick. It's like, wow, man. It's like I know what I'm doing. All right, let's see here. Are they talking? What are they saying?
Crew is wrapping up their 6th flight day. They are currently in a privatized conference with the flight director here in Mission Control. They typically have a private conference at the end of every flight day. Following this, they will have a brief private conference with their medical teams here on the ground, and then they will head into their pre-sleep period. And that will wrap up their 6th flight day as part of the Artemis 2 mission. Going into the 7th flight day, they will have quite a bit of time off duty, but they will complete a post-lunar flyby conference. During this time, they will have the opportunity to discuss their lunar flyby observations with the science team on the ground, while some of that is still fresh and top of mind. And then a little bit later in the day, there is the opportunity for a RTC-1 burn. This is a return trajectory correction burn, should it be needed, and it will allow it would be a short thruster firing to allow the Orion spacecraft to fine-tune its trajectory on the return leg. And then in the second half of the day, they will work on a radiation sheltering demonstration. During that radiation shelter demonstration, the crew will build a radiation shelter within the cabin of the Orion spacecraft and prepare lockers for radiation shelter ingress or entering into them. On missions to the moon through the Artemis program, astronauts venture beyond Earth's protective magnetic field. The Orion spacecraft serves as the main protection against the sun's intense power. And NASA has radiation dosage level thresholds that they look for inside Orion. The first threshold signals a caution, prompting closer monitoring and coordination with medical and flight operations team. And then a higher threshold triggers a recommendation for the crew to take shelter. Radiation shielding in space is all about mass. Charged particles are slowed and absorbed as they pass through matter, so astronauts are trained to reconfigure their cabin during a solar particle event, removing stowed equipment from storage bays and securing it along areas of the cabin to add mass between themselves and incoming particles. Since Artemis 2 is the first crewed Artemis mission, testing this procedure in the Orion spacecraft is a major objective of the mission.
And it's interesting what she's talking about there. Just like nuclear fallout, radiation travels in straight lines. And when, like, let's say there's a nuclear war and there's a nuclear fallout falling down and you're wanting to try to survive, you're going to want to put as many inches of material, whether it's water, whether it's steel, wood, the thicker the better. 1 inch of steel is like 6 inches of wood. Okay? So, lead, half an inch of lead is like 1 inch of steel. And 6 inches of wood is like, 2 feet of average household stuff, books and things like that. So when you're looking to block radiation, everything travels in a straight line. If all of the fallout falls down and it's laying in your yard, it's all moving towards your house from the fallout, believe it or not, because they're charged particles. So when you set up, what most people get wrong is they set up in their house and they lay on the floor and they set up their protection on the floor, and it actually works better higher or lower. You want to be below ground or you want to be up high, and you want as much thickness between you and, like, if you got water tanks that you can fill with water, those will provide protection from fallout, things like that. Well, this is the same thing here. The same fallout things that we would read as survivors down here. The same thing happens up there. The body of the spacecraft becomes some of the protection, and then the items inside become part of the protection, and then they would move those around so that they're between the radiation source and the humans. But yeah, this is radiation's a little bit of a thing because, like she said, they're outside of our protective bubble. All right, everybody. I think that's going to be it. Yes, incognita. Yeah, and just regular water. This is the neat thing about water and food. You can use your water and food to protect you from fallout from the radiation, and then you can still consume the water and the food later. It stops it immediately, but it doesn't become contaminated necessarily. And so even if you use large water tanks to protect you, if you had large water tanks, you could put all the way around you on all 4 sides. Okay. That will give you a lot of protection from fallout that's laying out in the yard and things like that. But the neat thing is then that water can still be used. It can still be drunk. All right, well, guys, I guess that's about it. I do appreciate everybody being here tonight, and we'll let you guys go. I guess that's going to be it. All right, everybody. My name's Ian. This is Starship Adventures. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. Thank over 700 people that came in the show tonight. Thank you very much, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. We'll be back tomorrow night for another episode of the Sights and Sounds of Earth. I will be monitoring tomorrow morning, and I will go live up till 2 o'clock if I can, if I need to. But then I will have to go in and do my regular job. Okay, duty calls. But then I'll come back and I can even potentially go on early if there's things cracking. So we'll be watching, and we'll see what happens. We'll be back tomorrow night at 9 p.m. right here on the Sights and Sounds of Earth. Remember, we're looking right now. If you look at the top center screen, you'll notice that the sun's starting to rise in Tel Aviv and in Haifa and in Jerusalem. The sun is starting to rise. And so right now, about, that means that about 10 o'clock in the morning or so, the sun will be going down there and it will become nighttime. So that's why I'm saying this could start at 9 or 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow morning would be my guess. Because that's when it's going to get dark beyond the deadline. Does that make sense? All right, so there we go. I'm going to be watching. I'll be posting. You guys keep an eye on my community posts and stuff like that. And I guess that's going to be it, guys. This is the Sights and Sounds of Earth. My name is Ian, Starship Adventures, and we'll see you guys next time on our next adventure out there. You guys have a good one. Good night, everybody.
Well, dawn broke early on February 28. Trump gave the word, no more waiting at the gate. U.S. and Israel, side by side in the fight, launched them strikes deep into the Iranian night. Targeting the mullahs, the press and their crew, nuking their nukes before they could brew. Tehran shaking with explosions in the air, smoke rising high, showing we mean business there. God bless America. God bless America. God bless America, land of the free and brave. With Trump at the helm, we're riding the wave, kicking ass when we must, no apologies here. Iran's regime's done, their end is near. Missiles fly back, but they won't break our steel. U.S. and Israel making the bad guys kneel. Trump's calling the shots, urging folks to rise up, overthrow the tyrants, fill freedom's cup. Trump's message rings out, your freedom's at hand. To the Iranian people, take back your land. We hit their leaders, Supreme and the rest. Joint ops with Israel, putting them to the test. They fired back wild at bases in our alley, but our defenses hold under that Middle East sky. No more hiding threats, no more playing games. Trump's bringing justice in America's name. God bless America, land of the free and brave. With Trump at the helm, we're riding the wave, kicking ass when we must, no apologies here. Iran's regime's done, their end is near. Missiles fly back, but they won't break our steel. U.S. and Israel making the bad guys kneel. From the Gulf to the skies, the world's watching now. Trump standing tall, showing them how. No endless wars, but when push comes to shove, we protect our own with strength from above. Iran's retaliation, just desperate flails, while our forces strike true, tipping the scales for peace through power. That's the American way. Trump's leading the charge, saving the day. God bless America. God bless America, land of the free and brave. Land of the free and brave. With Trump at the helm, we're riding the wave, kicking ass when we must, no apologies here. Iran's regime done, their end is near. Missiles fly back, but they won't break our steel. U.S. and Israel making the bad guys kneel. Trump's calling the shots, urging folks to rise up, overthrow the tyrants, fill freedom's cup. Yeah, Trump's America, strong and true, kicking ass say, and Trump too.
This is the YouTube channel Starship Adventures, broadcasting live from Starship Studios in North Fort Myers, Florida, in the United States of America. We thank you for joining us this evening for another broadcast of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, covering every breaking news story across this troubled planet of ours. We brought you the raw, unfiltered pulse of the world in real time through our unique multi-screen format, broadcasting in high definition worldwide via fiber optic connection. Starship Adventures, a new kind of YouTube content. To our regular viewers, our loyal crew members, our amazing moderators, and everyone who tunes in each night at 9 p.m. Eastern, we thank you. Your support keeps this independent voice alive and well. We'll be back tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern with another live edition of the Sights and Sounds of Earth, right here on Starship Adventures. Until then, stay safe, stay informed, and may God bless you and these United States of America. This is Starship Adventures, and this concludes our broadcast day. Good night, America, and around the world. Kilo Oscar 4, Echo Foxtrot Sierra. Signing off. QSY, 7-3s, everyone, 7-3s.